All right, question number 1. What was something that stood out to you from this section of Scripture? Feel free to skip, but I challenge you, if you got something out of this, go ahead and let us hear it. David.
So I have that he did allow them to make a false idol, but he just abandoned them right when they did it. He said, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Like he could have prevented it, but he let them make their own decision.
Okay. That sounds like the beginning of a really good question. Unless you have kind of an understanding why he might do that. Why do you think he would do that? Allow them to do it, but then he could have prevented it, but then once they made the choice, he went, okay, guys, this is what you want. You can have it. Why do you think he did that?
He wants it to be like our decision to follow it.
Yeah.
And he can't just make us all like agree with him. So we have to make our own decisions.
100%. Yep. What is it called when you force somebody to love you? Illegal? Yeah. Okay. Savannah, what did you get?
I like verse 10 and the end of verse 9. Yeah.
Okay. What did those say? You can paraphrase it for us if you want.
It's where like it's said that I think it was Moses, where God like or maybe or no, it was Joseph who his brothers sold as a slave, and then God just like went with him or not went with him. Like,
Yeah.
went through it with there are always problems.
Yep. Why did that stick out to you? So the issue where Joseph was sold into slavery and was in Egypt, why did that stick out to you? You just liked it? Okay. Maybe we need to watch Joseph, King of Dreams or something like that.
We should do that one of these days.
Yeah, we should. Okay. Sophia, did anything stick out to you?
Egypt a lot.
What's that?
Egypt a lot.
Heard Egypt a lot? Okay, right on. That's a good observation. You're like, skip? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, no, Egypt. We'll come back to that. That's a good observation. How about you, Abby? Skip? All right, no sweat. How about you, Molly?
I just think it's cool that Stephen,
Yep.
he stood up for the apostles. Well, it's part of the last chapter too, that he died trying to get them out of it.
Yeah. Yep. That's cool, man. This was a brave guy. This guy lived pretty fearlessly. So, yeah, that is awesome. How about you, Abby? You know, now that we have an Abby, this
I like verse 28 where it says, are you going to kill me like you killed the Egyptian? Because it just proves that someone's always watching you.
Yeah.
You can't get away with everything.
Yep. Moses thought that he had gotten away with Moida, but nope, no such luck. And there's a whole lot to that too. I was studying that a little while ago, and it's like the contrast between Moses trying to deliver the Israelites in his own strength, and then when Moses was actually sent by God in God's strength to deliver Israel, and how that turned out differently. You know, the first time when he was 40 and the second time when he was 80. It's better when we do it God's way, not in our own strength. How about you, Emily? Anything stick out to you? Okay. Liam?
Verse 17.
Verse 17. What'd that say?
As the time drew near when God would fulfill the promise to Abraham, the number of our people in Egypt greatly increased.
Okay. What stuck out to you about that?
Just the fact that it increased.
What increased?
Our people.
Okay. All right.
Christians.
Well, I mean, people are increasing all the time. Let's dig. Let's see why that particular increase of population, why did that stick out to you?
Because our faith is growing.
Okay. All right. Well, that seems pretty good. Do you know where they were at that time?
Egypt.
What were they doing at that time?
Weren't they slaves?
They were slaves, yep. I think it's pretty incredible that God used that time when they were being oppressed to grow them into this incredible nation. It said that they went originally down there with only 75 people and their entire family. And when they left, it was like 600,000. So that's pretty incredible. You're right. How about you, Alicia? Did you notice anything? Okay. Emma? No. Rizla?
The passage was quite long.
Dude, is it not? And it's like, here's the entire Bible in 600 minutes. Like, yeah, it is really long. Anything in particular in that super long? The thing I like about long passages is that it gives you plenty of time to pick up on something in there, where a short passage just so fast, you might miss something. But this one goes by real slow. Anything stand out to you? No? All right. How about you, Lex?
The way that Abraham was called out of Haran,
Okay.
it's like, that's going to be a major leap of faith, because, I don't know how God appeared to him.
Yeah.
But if it was just, God, I feel like God's telling me to do this, moving based off of a feeling is pretty scary.
Yeah.
But if God appeared to him, then it's like, okay, well, I don't have a choice now.
Yep. Yeah, you see it, at our church on Sunday mornings, the signs that kind of display the motto of our church to follow Jesus wherever he leads, whatever the cost, no excuses, right? That's easy for us because we know the story. Abraham was there at the beginning of the story. There was no story to know for Abraham, right? So he was actually an idol-worshiping Mesopotamian. He probably worshipped a pantheon of different gods, a god for, food, a god for water, a god for the sun, a god for the moon, a god for the, doorknob, a god for the toilet paper, which is the god that you should have called on this morning, by the way. If you guys don't know the story, it's pretty awesome. We'll talk about it after youth group. But he worshipped a bunch of different gods, but somehow, right? Somehow he heard this one God speak to him, and he obeyed it. And I have to say, it's probably because when you're worshiping a bunch of fake, silent stuff, it makes it like stand out when something real happens, right? So he was worshiping a bunch of gods who never spoke to him, who never said anything, and maybe he believed for a lot of his life that they were helping, but all of that help that he was getting, the provision, providing for his family, good crops, good health, good wealth, whatever he had in his life, that was just God's grace on his life. God providing, right? God lets the rain fall on the just and the unjust alike, but they never spoke to him. They never communicated with him. And so when he heard a God communicate with him, that obviously for him made all the difference. All right, question number 2. And this one will just, anybody who wants to answer it, raise your hand. What is the main point made in this section of Scripture? Does it teach us something about God or about people? If you were to say just in a sentence or two, what do you think the main point of this section of Scripture is? It's a tough one, man. This question's already hard by itself, but with Acts chapter 7, I think it could be a lot more challenging. I saw your hand go up. You know how I do this. Your hand went from down here to up here. I don't care how it got there. It went up.
God's plan.
God's plan?
Yeah.
That God has a plan that he's working throughout history? Okay, absolutely. Yeah, that is a good summary for this chapter. Question number 3. Can you think of any real world situation that you know of that this section of Scripture relates to? It could be something that's happened in your life, or something that you've heard happen in somebody else's life, something that your grandma's second uncle twice removed went through, or something that you saw on a TikTok, whatever. Nope.
I don't have like a specific example, but like sometimes God will let us go down a bad path to bring us back close.
Yeah.
So you have to pay attention to that.
Dude, someday you and I should talk about my story. That is 100%. If my story was a section of scripture, you just answered question number 2 for my life. Yep. Okay. What's that? It's not. You're absolutely right. I appreciate you bringing us back to reality. My life is not scripture. Thank goodness, because I would not want everybody in the world to read it.